Hi friends, welcome back to my lockdown diaries. This is Shashwat here, and these diaries are my humble attempt to collate my thoughts about the experiences as we go through these quarantine days. So today I'm going to talk about a grim scenario, not pertaining to our country, not pertaining to epidemic, not pertaining to any of the usual topics that we keep talking about, but something more personal, something that kind of bothers all of us at this moment. And so I'll give you a brief outlay of how I came across this topic. So typically over a period of days I'm kind of forced or coerced by my better half to step on to the weighing scale now and then to keep a tab on the progress that I'm making. She would rather have me rather the whole thing to be in a better picture, but somehow it tends to be more or less on the same keel. But I was kind of dismally shocked when I saw increment in the numbers that were there, and it kind of bothered me because, to be very honest with you, I have not been my normal self that I usually am. So being a journalist, there are a couple of bad habits that I have. I'm very much addicted to tea, and I'm very much addicted to all these junky food that is there. Now and then if I'm outside, I'll grab a vada pav, I'll grab this sandwich, I'll grab that sandwich, and I kind of, I'm not very conscious about my intake of stuff because you're busy in work, you're traveling, you're doing a whole lot of stuff, right? So that has been one of my struggles, and that has been one of the reasons that I attribute my healthy body for. But over these days I have been very, you have been living a very nice life, eating home cooked food, eating whatever. The vegetables that you're getting are also the healthier type. It's no more your choice of vegetables, right? Today when you go to the market, whatever you get is what you cook at home. You don't make choices anymore, though. I don't eat this, I don't eat that. It's no more of that sort. Secondly, you are eating all your all the junky food is cut. Previously, if you were like not in a mood today, feeling bad in the morning, you'll just pick up your mobile phone, open that app and order something nice, some nice stuff for yourself. Or in the evening when you're feeling like watching the after putting the kids to sleep, you want to binge on some Netflix series, you'll order something again from Zomato or Swiggy and just let go. But now that is also curtailed. So in an ideal scenario, which I personally believe would be the case, I thought that while my I might not really come down on the scale, but there was no reason for me to go up again. And I think so this is a struggle which most of us are facing. Even when you look online these days, there are only two types of posts that I come across. Either there are cartoons of how before and after scenarios would be, of how a thin person would be fat, how they won't be recognized. So those cartoons are there. Or on the other hand, it's the celebrity videos who are showing you the amazing skill sets that you need to do, and how troublesome they are going through this whole ordeal of exercising and keeping tab on their weight. So, and which, by the way, which those videos has also initially, in the initial spurt of the quarantine, you had a lot of these videos coming out, but I see right now they seem to also have slacked. So yeah, this is a challenge that we need to address, and this is a challenge that is facing all of us. So I was thinking, what can we do about it? So pondering over it, I've thought of a couple of points that I think so can be very relevant to how we can keep healthy during these quarantine days. So let me share some some 4-5 tips on how to beat the blues when it comes to your health, and how to beat the scale. So let me start first up. First, what you need to do is keep your habits more or less on an even keel. So if you your eating time should be more or less on the same time that you should eat breakfast, lunch and dinner on the same times that your body is accustomed to. So your body has a certain habit, certain traits. It's the metabolism also works like that. So try to keep that keep it on the same level, there will be times when you will be like, since nowadays you tend to wake up late, and you tend to you tend to wake up late and sleep late as well. But even then you have to keep a curb on all those all those traits. Don't reach out for the fridge and just hunt for something interesting. The second thing is, the second one of my interesting ways that I do the best way to keep a check is to have a honest companion who can tell you the truth all the times. And it doesn't have to be your better half, because your better half is often bitter about your health or something. It can be an honest person, an honest entity who can give you great ideas, and that can be your clothes. So keep a set of clothes, right? And these clothes can be the ones that are on the edge, right? They shouldn't be those loose fitting ones which are gonna stay loose for a long time to come, but they shouldn't be also the tight ones that you feel embarrassed to wear them out. So keep those clothes handy and keep trying them. Right now it's very difficult for us to find an excuse to why should we be wearing our denims, or why should we be wearing our shirts or all formal shirts and all this thing. But they are the real they can give you a real picture about where you stand. So keep trying them now and then. Well, for instance, for me, these lockdown diaries is a good excuse for me to keep trying the clothes on. The third, also one thing, and this is especially pertaining to guys. Now, let me be honest to you, and without malice, the ladies of the house, their workloads have increased. So with all the buys gone, and you are seeing all those videos that are also there, all the ladies missing, and reminiscing about those days when the buys were there and they had time on their hand, because now they actually don't. They're too much into the housework, they're cooking. Everyone that I speak to is either complaining about what they will be cooking, or what else they will not, what they are missing upon. So the guys are actually, for the guys this can be an opportunity to not only look at ways and means which they can contribute towards the health in some course that they can do. They can do jhadu pocha, they can do brooming stuff, they can do this dusting, cleaning, dusting. This can also be a good opportunity for you to win brownie points. So what happens is, so if your wife is losing, what do you do kind of a thing, you can always brag about the certain things that you are actually doing, washing utensils, see I'm doing that, and you can make yourself a positive contributor. So that is another way. The fourth way that you can do, and this is something which is very enticing, is watch something nice now and then to enticing food that you really love. I think so that really helps in burning calories. For instance, today I was watching this series The World with Jeff Goldblum. It's on Netflix. This is on Disney Hotstar, yeah. So he has this small episode. So today's episode was on ice cream, and man, I loved it. I loved those ice creams that were there, and I'm sure I must have burned quite a big sum of calories just watching that episode, just thinking about all the beautiful, amazing things that I'm missing. YouTube and Facebook is now flooded with videos of all these food, and someone cooking, someone doing this amazing dish. So keep watching them. It will help you. It will help you to curb all these things. Also, finally, my final tip is to find exercises in the excuses that you're doing. So, for instance, right now we are mostly on calls, right? So how about just while you're taking the calls, how about just doing a stroll inside the house itself? I know it's difficult. I know it's noisy with all your kids roaming around and the whole house in a thing. So long as it's not a video call, you can always converse on the thing walking, and this will keep you also occupied. This will also help you in cutting down on some of the calories that you might be accumulating, right? So these are my 5 important tips. The most important tip I can give you, and I'm sure which anyone else will tell you, is drink whole lots of liquids and water. Water is a best source to curb your thing, and this is also the environment where we are feeling so thirsty. So just keep binging on water. I know I'm not the best person when it comes to give. In fact, I should be the most healthiest person to give you healthy tips on lifestyles. But yeah, these are some ways that you can kind of beat the blues when it comes to the weighing scale. And and I'm not only talking about these, but I'm also gonna implement them very sternly when it comes to, and I'll give you an update when it comes next time. Yeah, so that's about it. When I thought about this, share my struggles today. Another thing that I struggled with today was again the news that was there. Yeah, it was a very grim and saddening news of the death of Rishi Kapoor. And I'll be honest with you. In 2 days, yesterday it was Irfan Khan, and today it was Rishi Kapoor, and it's kind of it's back to back. It can be so saddening for it, but it's something that also you look at the commonality that is there. These both people were suffering from cancer, and they were not only suffering from cancer, but they were being treated abroad. And while so if you look at Irfan Khan, he was for 2 years he was in London. Rishi Kapoor was for a year in US, and while they were there, they were kind of doing good. And they come down to India. I don't know, they are trapped because of the lockdown or something, and they kind of they meet a very sad end. It kind of makes you wonder that if things would have been normal, and if they would have been able to access the medical care that is available to them. They are financially well off, and they can definitely afford the best medical treatment in the world, which they were doing up till now. If they were able to access that, would that have made a difference or not? I don't know. You often see a lot of these celebrities when they, most of the celebrities when they are stuck by any of these things, including Sonia Gandhi and all, they tend to travel abroad for treatment. It is A, for privacy, and it could also be for the better health facilities that they get, right? So yeah, so Rishi Kapoor was very kind of sad. It was there's no words to really express how bad you feel, because he was not only, he was the first chocolate boy hero that was there. So if you look at the 80s when Rishi Kapoor was there, it was the era of the angry young men, the Amitabh Bachchans and all these, the tall, lanky Vinod Khanna and Feroz Khan, and all these different shades of macho men who were, exuding with machismo. And in that you had someone like Rishi Kapoor, who was like complete chocolate boy looks, and he was cute, he was lovable, he was emotional, he was everything that you could relate to. So he was one of the very different actors of that era, and who was able to maintain it for a long time. So that is there. And also Rishi Kapoor, I have a personal note with him as well. To be if my father is in the film industry, and I had an access to, I used to visit all his shootings and all, so he was working with Yash Chopra and all these things. But if there was one actor that I was most eager to meet, or the only actor that I asked my father to take me to, was Rishi Kapoor. Now I remember this was pretty young, when I was 5-6 years at max. This was when Sargam had come out, and Sargam was a big hit, and I would be going around the house with Dhappliwala and all that thing. So at that time Rishi Kapoor was working on a film called as Prem Rog, and my father was associated with that film as well as an autographer. Yeah. So I remember I was very much eager to meet him. So my dad said, okay, fine, I'll take you to the dubbing theatre where he was dubbing that day. So I'm sharing a memory which is like, very small kid. So I remember I was sitting in a dubbing theatre. The studio was outside, and we were sitting in the confined room that was there, and we were sitting in that room. And so what happened was, we were I'm waiting for a chance when Rishi was dubbing his scenes. And then finally in between there was a break, and then my father took me along with him, and we went inside the room, and he was standing there with his leg on the chair. I still distinctly remember he was standing with his one leg on the chair, and he was talking to someone. He was talking very in a very emotional manner. He was kind of I don't know, offended or what. So my father takes me there and he kind of introduces me to him, and he sees me, oh hi, and he nods with me, and he shakes his hand with me, and yeah, so I was too awestruck to even utter any words to him. So yeah, so I remember this, it must have been a couple of minutes, that's all with him, and you know, so that's all the time I got with him, and then we came back to our that soundproof room that we have, and I was watching again. So yeah, so I remember Rishi Kapoor from that days. And you know what was the most amazing thing for me, when my kid, my younger kids as well, they saw Sargam and all, and they also kind of liked him. You know, they became a fan in the sense when they saw Karz, that movie. So yeah, they would be singing that song and doing that thing. So Rishi Kapoor is an actor who transcended generations. He was there in my generation, he was there in some other younger generation, and now even his films, his persona was such that it could inspire a lot more, lot many people. So yeah, so it was kind of sad that this whole thing happened, and I'm just so that's what such is life. A person of that thing, 67 is not really an age to pass away or what. We can't comment on that thing, but yeah, so that's all. That's all I have on that note. With that, I'll take your leave. I'll catch you again tomorrow. Till then, stay inside, stay safe, and don't forget to wash your hands. I'll see you again. Bye bye.